All right. So search for.
I would say the one place that we know that they're at.
Yeah, I'd say we head to the temple.
Okay.
I mean, we can kind of watch the comings and goings, but I don't think that's going to be able to tell us who's who.
Yeah, we'll probably have to actually go in and actually investigate and talk to some peoples.
You guys head over. It's definitely a rundown temple. So you stand outside and watch it for once going at the.
I do believe they had mentioned this was an abandoned temple, so odds are they're not going to go in and out the front door so freely.
Hmm.
Now, that being said, I'm not sure of what secret entrance they would use.
I suppose we could look around and see. There might be something that is not obvious to most people, but to our trained eyes, might be easily spotted.
Yeah, I'm going to start by looking around for that one sign, that one symbol again that they have. See
Okay.
if I notice anybody with that on it or if there's any symbol like again on like a wall that I could use.
And I will be happy to assist with that if need be.
Yeah. So Hero, you don't see any person with that symbol at the moment. But you do notice that one of the back doors carved in real subtle sort of way, but you're able.
I point to everybody else. All right, guys, looks like this is the symbol right here. Looks like the back door should work.
If I had a nickel for every time I heard that.
LOL. I got the joke. Well done.
I'm gonna go up to the. Is it a door or is it like just a little symbol in the wall?
On a door.
Okay, I'm gonna go knock on the door.
Okay, you
Does anybody answer? I'm gonna try and open the door.
seems to be locked.
I'm gonna try and lockpick the door.
Okay.
Um, trying to find where they're. There they are. I gotta click use at the bottom.
Could also be a thing on the.
What I was looking for. Oh, they're at the bottom. Okay, I see. I had to scroll a bit. Either way, I got 21.
Yeah, so you're able to quite easily latch open and or creaks open.
Kind of slowly poke my head in and look around, make sure the ghost is clear. The coast is clear. No ghosts there too, right?
Don't see any ghosts. It does seem to be clear inside.
So technically, the ghosts could also be clear.
That is true.
Could be. Could be is the keyword.
That's right.
All right, I'm not gonna try and like go in the shadows, but I'm gonna try and walk quietly through right now. Not really trying to hide, just the volume.
Okay.
Wendell, however, will attempt to slip into the shadows. Yes! Thank you, little reroll.
So you both take relatively secretive steps in. Um, First glance, there doesn't seem anybody around at the abandoned.
Yeah, Wendell has lost all capability of stealth as he is gawking in amazement over all of the fineries in here.
I'm just gonna look for another. I guess I'll look around looking for that symbol still.
Give me
Say
a,
this maybe a trap door or something.
a perception. You take a look around for several minutes. Find any.
Do you guys see anything?
Hell no.
I'll roll for perception.
Okay. Best roll yet. Still, you don't see anything other than an abandoned.
Well, I find this quite confusing, boys.
Something. What?
Yeah, who is the deity that this temple is for, anyhow?
Yes. I don't know. I hadn't picked.
Oh, okay.
Probably some old forgotten.
What's on? What's going on over here on this desk?
You mean the altar?
There's a lot of stuff on there. All it needs is a chair and it'd be a desk.
That's accurate for most altars.
Yeah, you see several old religious bowls written about to ignore the bowl there. The liquid in there is not tried.
Are these cobwebs over there?
Yeah.
Are these stairs up?
They lead up to a long.
Guess I'll go check the other end. Over here, that looks like that's got liquid in it.
Probably don't want to. Definitely does not. Or
I'm gonna
still drink it.
look around the statue over here. Is there anything notable about it?
Very finely.
Wendell does his worst preacher impersonation.
I want to check out this chair in specific.
Okay.
Anything? Do I notice anything? Like it looks like there could be something going on with that one. Do I notice any switches or anything around it?
Give me an investigate.
God damn.
Again, Wendell is happy to be assisting.
That would be great. I have somebody to help me out a little bit. Hey Wendell, come home. We take a look for something over here.
Well, seems to be a fancy but ordinary chair.
Is there a significance for why there's significantly less cobwebs on this one versus the other two?
Wendell smacks the pad, expecting a huge dust cloud.
You do get a huge dust cloud out of it.
What
It
about the
hasn't been
book?
used in a while.
What about the book on the podium? Is that just like a regular religious scripture?
Yeah, it seems to be an old hymn book.
Those doors, are those the front doors?
Yeah, there's the.
Is there any sort of secret passageway in the middle here? Investigate the floor.
So you can see tile floor, solid.
I don't hear like an echo if I like stomp on it or anything.
At this point, I think Wendell is going to just kneel down and pray. Dear to whom it may concern, we're trying to find our way, but we're completely lost and apparently highly clueless. Perhaps it's all the dust and cobwebs, but if we could get a sign, that would really help. Love, us.
Wait. There no response. Chapel well and truly abandoned.
Perhaps this is just where they'll meet and 2 days' time.
Could be.
In which case, we still won't have any other information to go on.
I suppose we could set up an ambush here.
It's possible, though we don't know however strong our opponents might be, nor how numerous they will be either.
Just suggestions, guys.
Certainly a solid idea. Out and wait.
I'm happy to do any more research required to figure out what we're up against if you need help.
We would have to find more of them, I'm afraid. Even the Thieves Guild did not have much information on it. You'd have to find somewhere you could infiltrate to get more information.
Perhaps I could make a go at some of the members at their own home, follow them home from wherever. Happen to spot them. You'll have to point them out, of course, Hero, but maybe I could at least give them a test of metal.
I do know of one location, one of their hideouts. Albeit it was very small, but I'm not sure if that is an average size or a small size hideout. If you could go to there and maybe you could stalk one home, or we could try to get more information in other ways.
To play it off like a drunken brawl, maybe, and get a test of their strength, and then if it seems I'm outmatched, I could always turn it around and make it seem like I'm just a little bit too drunk for my own hands. And then maybe they'll let me go if they're kind enough. But given the information on the group, I'm not sure if that will happen, so I might need backup.
I'd be fine to give you backup on that.
I can tag along, though it'd be best if I remain unseen, as I've already made contact with some of them under an alias.
Well, I'll let you be the guide. I'll simply be your tool of measurement then. You tell me where to go and who to swing at, and then from there I'm sure I can play something off. Something usable.
And I'll be Overwatch. In case things get out of hand, you know.
I think that sounds like a good idea. But again, I don't want to push anyone to positions they don't want to end up in.
I'll give a little nod and I'll start leaning back towards where I found the initial hideout.
Okay. So you guys head over there. Walking through. A little bit of a downpour at the moment. Storm's blown in while you're with. Oh.
And the weather around here changes on a dime. Not that I'm knowing what a dime is, but you know.
What's a dime?
Right, it changes on a copper.
Yeah.
So you guys begin making your way through town to a location that Hero had interacted with the shadows the other day. And yeah, before long you do find yourselves in the old, darkened alleyway behind Shadow's hideout was based in.
I'll keep an eye out for people that might have the symbol on them again.
Okay.
I'll get into a position as Overwatch in case Semi gets into too much trouble.
I'll wait with Hero until he points people out.
Okay.
And I'm going to be AFK for 2 minutes while I get some water real quick.
So it's about 2 or 3 hours that pass with Hero. You see a pair of people enter the alleyway and enter that doorway.
And I'll point that out to Samuel. Those are two of them right there that just entered.
Right, I'm on it. Samuel will like jog over there as discreetly as possible, and then once reaching the alleyway, I'll start acting drunk and being like, "Oi, you two blokes here, fucking, you stole my money off the bar earlier."
So you catch them just as they're about to head inside, and they stop and look at each other and come back out to talk to you. What are you getting on about? I didn't steal
Listen.
nothing from nobody.
Listen, I know a sticky hand when I see one, and I put my 3 silver on the counter. I saw you two walk out, and then I saw the bartender tell me I still owed for my tab. And I can roll for persuasion or whatever you need me to roll for to make this seem like a somewhat innocent fight, and then or performance.
Either one would be fine.
Okay. I still don't have a keyboard in front of me, so I'll have to have you roll for me to make it seem like I'm completely drunk and have no idea what I'm doing. And then I'll step forward and just take a blind haymaker at the first one closest to me.
Okay. A decent enough roll, but with the with your thrown punch, it might do something.
All right.
Let's see. All right. Brandon, pick.
Here, let me flip a notepad. Heads for top, tails for bottom. That was bottom. Oh, he's a racist, I see. Sorry, I had to come out this way.
You about Samuel all the time, apparently.
He's like fucking drow.
He role played being drunk so much he realized he's an angry drunk racist.
Listen here, Henry.
All right. So Samuel has thrown a punch. It connects and definitely catches him hard and throws him. Go ahead and roll initiative. Are those of you who aren't part of this yet?
I'm holding action and watching for right now.
If either of you want to jump in at any point, let me in. Otherwise, we'll.
Yeah, Wendell's just hanging back watching right now as well.
Let's see. Okay. The cultist that Samuel punched is going to draws a sword, attempts to misses. Other cultist he's going to pull out a dagger and start poking with it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to shoot the fanatic who pulled the dagger.
Okay, let's
Samuel, also seeing the dagger, begins to walk backwards and pretend like this wasn't on purpose, while also drawing his glaive.
okay. So we'll say you disengage, back up, have your glaive in hand now. Wendell, were you firing your bow?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and roll initiative. We'll get you.
I was also hopeful that I would be able to get a shot off by, from holding action, keeping an eye on the whole thing.
I would say at this point you can get your shot.
All right. Big old middle finger there to the dice.
So they see the arrow fly past them, and cultist that Samuel punches going to focus on Samuel. Hit him for 6 points of damage. Other cult. He's going to try to cast Hold Person. So Wendell has succeeded on his throw. He's not paralyzed. He'll take a swing with the glaive and drops one of the.
Nice. That sounds like a Samuel thing to do.
It does.
Wendell?
Wendell is going to be looking for new dice. Because that was the exact same roll.
The fanatic, seeing his ally be dropped, takes off in a mad sprint down the street, trying to.
Samuel gives pursuit once he sees it, whenever it's his turn.
Yes, it is your turn. Um, he is dashing though, so unless you are going to dash as well, he will be getting away from you. Or if you dash, you'll end up there without any action left.
I will dash, and I don't know if you can see my character sheet currently. I think Samuel has a bonus action, like a action surge or something in my fighter class that allows me to attack in addition to other actions. I could be wrong about that. I might be remembering a different character. But
Nope, it is here. You go ahead and action surge, give yourself an extra or a attack after dashing. Go ahead
yep.
and that's
Take one after dashing, and Samuel will say, "I want my 3 fucking silver."
Wendell and Hero, are you two doing anything?
I'm going to address the corpse and dispose of it.
Okay.
Uh,
If you're doing anything more than an action, it'll probably need to.
How long does minor illusion last? 30 feet, 1 minute. Okay. I'll just end up sending up some minor illusions around the dead body and trying to dispose of it in like a dumpster or something like that.
Okay.
Just kind of cleaning up the scene of the crime for this guy. Using
Yeah.
minor illusion to make it look like the alleyway, like so that way if they look out the door, they only see an empty alleyway. Just it looks like an alleyway from every angle. And then I use that time to quickly dispose of it and clean up blood.
Okay. Wendell moves forward and took a shot.
Yeah, I'm basically, if there's any way for me to do it, I'm going to try to maim the guy.
Not unless you've got any sort of special ability. Let's see. Cultist is going to keep running, but lack of opportunity. Now we're. You hit him. He is still up on his feet and trying to get away, though. He dashed away again. So we are in the same situation as last turn, except you don't have your action surge.
Okay, I'll keep pace with him as best I can, and gesture / shout at the other two. You know, with me, let's follow him.
Okay. Wendell?
Yeah, Wendell's got little legs. He's going to get left behind here soon. So I'm going to do the max 25-foot move and fire off one more shot before he starts getting into long range, I think.
I think that's correct. And you do manage to hit.
Dude, this guy's a fucking tank.
is he still up?
Like, seriously, I think we've just found the cult leader. And he's actually
Yeah.
a high-level cleric.
We might have, because the first guy folded like paper mache.
Well, yeah, and I mean, this
Or
guy turned
Raditz.
around and tried to cast Hold Person on me, so...
Crazy bastard.
He's still dashing away, but you get another attack of opportunity. And that one actually drops it.
Ooh. Boy, did
Nice.
it.
Samuel, I cannot see what the attack roll was. So I don't know how dead he is, but
He's real
Samuel.
dead.
Oh fuck! I was gonna say Samuel immediately after dropping him with the glaive tries to put pressure on the wound and keep him conscious for a minute.
Yeah.
And yeah.
There's no chance of resurrection here. You actually did max damage with the glaive. Like, there may be 2 pieces of cultists now.
Fuck.
I could say that if you were wanting to, that you were doing non-lethal damage at last. Or intending to.
Oh, there
I
you
was
go.
just wanting to take his leg off at the calf so we could interrogate him.
Okay, yeah.
Samuel can apply some bleeding prevention while we're trying to keep him conscious for just a second so we can talk to him. Not like give him a health potion kind of help, but just stem the bleeding temporarily so we can get some answers.
So you are. He's lying in an alleyway with you. Tell me over 3 pieces of silver that I from you.
Right, listen, the silver may have been a guy's, and you know, well, I have to stick to my story. I'm sorry that was what you thought this was all about, but it's a little bit greater than that. I promise. I'll tourniquet you really fast. Not sure if it's going to work since I'm just using my hands and a piece of cloth, but anybody, we need to know what ritual are you planning?
Oh, why would I tell you?
Because there's worse things than death. And I happen to know a few of them.
Right. I mean, what my friend Wendell's saying is we can make it quick or we can make it rather slow. Do you want to talk and at least tell us if what you're planning is somewhat ripe and not so good for the people, or is it something rather tame? We just need to know. You can tell us. Promise. Well, you can trust us.
Wendell, give me an intimidation, and I'm gonna roll a persuasion for you.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Do I have any advantage on this?
Not particularly.
Not that I need it. Apparently, Wendell is very intimidating in his short and adorable way.
All right. Samuel's persuasion does not seem to have been effective, but Wendell is being rather intimidating, though. Not.
Oh, we haven't gotten to the intimidation yet. When the pants come off, the intimidation starts.
So the cultist looks at the two of you. What do you know already, so that I can breath on the.
Ah, the guy's pretty smart here, Semi. He knows that he needs to save his breath.
Is yeah, that indeed. Is Hero anywhere nearby that I can gesture to him to say like get over here because you've got the most insight on this?
How
Here,
long did it
here
take
is
for me
actually.
to dispose of the body?
Okay, if
I start
Hero's
following.
Yeah,
all right,
you
then
probably finished that up by now.
Okay, I won't
I'll,
run, but
I'll
I'll walk somewhat quickly towards the direction I saw them.
if
I
I
imagine.
see Hero, I'll gesture to him to like hurry up if he can see us. If we're like around the corner, it's gonna take him a minute. Then I'll just turn back to the cultists and say, "We know about a pocket watch. Tell us everything you know about it. Who's got it?"
And while this is happening, Wendell is going to start pulling out some rather unusual things from his pouch. He's going to pull out a pouch of ball bearings, some pitons, and some string. And then the last thing he will pull out is a candle. And he'll just glance over at the cultist and smile and say, "Oh, don't mind me. You guys just have your little talk."
So the cultist looks over at Samuel and Wendy. But look, who is? It's really all it is a fantasy luncheon. Nothing more.
Oh, now. I hate when they lie, Semi. You know, we heard about the fact that there's supposed to be a sacrifice.
A few sacrifices, actually.
When Hero shows up to say that, and I realize he's over my shoulder, I'll
Just walk up.
kind of, yeah,
Yeah,
get over my
Semi's
shoulder.
getting used to this shit.
Yeah. I'll turn off to the side and say, I'm focusing all my weight on keeping the blood from leaking out his leg. You guys talk. And I'll like clamp his leg down a little bit harder to give him a few more seconds of life.
Can I mend a fucking wound?
No.
It's an object that might have a single break or a tear. It's kind of like stitches, but on skin. I don't know how fucked up is he?
Um, he seems mostly stable, but he's at like a single point.
He could go either way.
I'm not, I just zoned out a little bit there. I forgot what I was talking about before the mending thing. I'm
The
really tired.
sacrifices.
Okay. I shouldn't remember what he had said specifically about them.
Well, I had mentioned that there was that we had heard there was supposed to be a sacrifice, and you were like several, in fact.
Oh, that was it. I thought he had responded to it.
I don't think he had addressed that for.
Okay, that's what I thought. I
Not
thought he
yet.
had. I was trying to figure out like what the fuck did he say? I'm so lost. He hadn't said anything. That's why I feel lost.
That is why you're lost.
Very much.
Yes, uh, a sacrifice of time.
Don't you play dumb with me. I'll put a dagger up to him.
You're gonna do it.
I'll stab him.
Question, and I like interrupt this before Hero
You like see my arms flexing and tensing
Yeah.
up. I'm gonna go for it.
So what I'm curious about before you pass on, what did they say? Shuffle off the mortal coil or something like that. Why didn't you take Semi's offer to get out of this whole situation alive? Which, should produce vast amounts of confusion on his face. And possibly on my two companions.
Yeah, he's very much like, what do you mean, what?
Semi! And I will smack Semi on the shoulder. Carrot, then stick. It's hard to get good help these days.
Right, he was running, I don't know. Sorry.
Short of breath, yeah, I get it. We're going to have to start getting you trained up a little bit more. This should not have worn you out. So,
Yeah,
the carrot. Sorry it wasn't introduced to you before. You give us all the information. We take you over to a safe location, make sure that you are healed up. Once our business is completed, you're free to go. It's a limited one-time offer.
Say, that's how do I know that word?
You don't. But you don't have much other choice now, do you?
Yeah, it's basically like this. If I didn't want you to give me all the information and help me out with this, I would just start torturing you now until you broke. It's really not that hard. I can actually describe it in detail if you like. And he will eagerly reach over and grab the pouch of ball bearings.
All are quite possibly the craziest bunch of.
And this is coming from a cultist?
That's still the most sensible thing he's said yet. Can you
It's
take it a
true.
step further and just cooperate?
Wendell is practically beaming with pride right now.
The first step to overcoming your problems is accepting them.
And yeah, you've got two options here right now. Undeniably horrifying torture, or, being locked away but comfortable and on the mend. Like, I'm pretty sure we've got a healing potion around somewhere that would help speed things up for you, too.
They have it.
Well, I don't have one on me. But in our safe location, should you turn out to be cooperative, it will be supplied.
Yet I have guarantee. What should I?
Yeah, I see that we're kind of at an impasse here. I suppose I could just have Semi knock you out, and then you will wake up naked, tied, ass sticking up in the air, with me standing next to you, with lube and 1,000 ball bearings. It's a funny story. There's actually magnets in this world that are strong enough to go through flesh.
Doesn't that just sound fun?
Grand old. Hey, you. Why don't you lean in here?
I'm perfectly comfortable where I am.
Besides, if you wanted to, cast a suggestion on him, you would probably want to do it without the big guy holding on to the wound that's keeping you alive. Because, as soon as he lets go, then you pass out and the spell fades off because, you kind of got to focus on those things. You see how silly that whole plan was? You just didn't think it out through. It's fine. I know a lot of people that have trouble with that sort of thing. That's why I do the thinking. And well, me and Hero really. So we're still at 2 options. Slowly going down to 1.
I think my only option is crystal.
I do too. That's give us the information so that you can actually live out the rest of your life comfortably.
It seems he has chosen that a different option. Inflicted some on himself and decided he done talking.
Well, I guess that's that.
Yeah, now we're going to have to find somebody who has the raised dead spell. And who can do it again and 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 again.
Well, what I can say is that the first one folded like papier-mâché, and the second one, well, he didn't take much convincing. He hit the ground pretty quick. I think that we would be able to handle an ambush should we need to, which was the original plan after all, wasn't it?
For the underlings, by all means, we could.
Mm-hmm.
I question whether or not somebody who could use a interplanar pocket watch would be so weak and feeble. I imagine they must be at least of moderate power with magic. Now, whether or not there's going to be multiple people as strong as them, or if he would be solo, that's hard to say.
Well, there is one other thing that we should consider.
Hmm?
We have 2 corpses and whatever it was that was previously in their possession, which I'm presuming at some point in time might be a key to a lock that shows us which home that they live in. Perhaps from there we can maybe get some cultist garb. Perhaps we can blend in.
We already have 2 sets of clothes right here, in all fairness.
Hmm.
Albeit you guys might not fit into them, but I can certainly fit into this one. I point to the one that
Yeah, but
the
is
guy
that
was killed.
actually cultist garb, or is that just like plain clothes and you recognize them as part of the cult?
I believe from what I've gathered, it's more of the latter. Whenever I snuck into the hideout before, they had I'll like show like a little symbol with a minor illusion. They had these markings on their body, like on their forearm. They didn't necessarily have they wore everyday clothes, but they had a marking and they had a code phrase. The code
Ah,
phrase for your reference was "in the darkness would do our work."
oh,
Just so you guys are aware of that. I didn't notice any specific clothing when I was in the hideout before.
well,
So it might not matter so much of these. They might be an okay disguise to have, but
yeah, true. But knowing the symbol and the passphrase, that's like having the key.
for
That's
all of their
really
official
important,
stuff,
hero.
yes. I figured if we were gonna break in, we would use it, or if we were gonna try and get in pacifistically, I should say.
Well, at this point, I kind of feel like we have two options. One being to lay out an ambush, and the other to infiltrate the cult.
Well, if we infiltrate the cult, the only thing that I'm aware of is that one small hideout that we were just staking out before. We could go into there, and I could try to pose as the guy who was there before, or you could pose as somebody new gathering more information.
True.
We could attempt the ambush, but that you could argue is a bigger gamble as we don't know what to expect upon arrival. It may be only a handful of very weak cultists, in which case we could easily take them, but if they have some powerful figures, it might get tricky then.
Not to mention the fact we only have a day and a half until we have to be actionable. Might be best to try and be a part of whatever the
Yes.
ceremony is.
That is why I did agree to the task of finding 3 sacrifices for the ritual. That way I would be somewhat included on it, at the very least.
Hmm. Well, we
I'm not
could.
too fond of finding innocent people to act as sacrifices, though it did cross my mind trying to go along with the plan and then do a surprise spring my own trap while seemingly going along with their plan.
Yeah, I'm gonna
That had
say.
crossed my mind. Similar to your ambush idea, but they think we're working with them instead.
Yeah, and I mean, you happen to know three willing sacrifices.
That is true.
I thought precisely.
And perhaps we can hide some gear since we know where they're going to be doing this. And there's always Fluffy too.
If anything, we could have Fluffy carrying the gear and I could use Fluffy to ride one or two of you in. I can't imagine they might be kind of confused if I'm just walking the streets with 3 sacrifices willingly. If one of you guys were
Not
faking being passed out on the back of Fluffy, they might
no.
not question it too much.
I was thinking more along the lines of you bringing this in under the guise that I don't know, that we won a prize or something, and that we go in there all excited talking about how that we're uh we're really excited to become new members, and that we're going to be going through an initiation or something.
I suppose that'd be a little bit more of a peaceful way,
Hmm.
as well as not requiring you to completely drop all your gear off. I sup
Except we would have to like stash our gear somewhere, perhaps somewhere inside the temple, so that way we just look like people, not adventurers.
I'm sure we could find somewhere there. It looked pretty run down. There's got to be some cabinets we could just toss your gear into.
My thoughts exactly.
Given our situation, that might be the best route to do. We'll get all the answers that we need with who has the pocket watch. And with that being said, if we can still destroy the watch and escape, we don't necessarily need to try and fight off all of them. We just need to destroy that pocket watch.
True.
If we can
But
get that
that
and
would,
get out.
yeah, I was gonna say that would definitely give us a, bird's eye view.
That's true. It would likely. I'm sure whoever is in charge of the whole thing will be very. They'd stand out drastically from the regulars, from the standard members.
And being able to get 3 semi-willing sacrifices would definitely up your prestige in the ranks of the cult.
True. Make me look like a rather capable and willing fresh recruit for them. They might be willing to kind of spill a little bit more information before we spring into action, just to kind of clarify where the watch is at, and what the exact sacrifice is for.
My thoughts exactly.
Sounds like a plan to me, honestly. I'd say we head back to the temple. Make sure nobody is there to see us stash away, and then look to stash away some weapons.
Okay. Guys, head back to. Just as empty as the last time.
Imagine we'll come in from the back here and go right down the middle. That being said, I'm not sure exactly if they're going to go to the north or the south for the sacrifices. If they're going to do it in that pool of water in front of the statue or by the altar. I suppose the altar makes more sense, but that could depend on the ritual.
Well, I would
So-
say
Say we stash it in some of these bookshelves on the side. Perhaps on this one might be a little bit better because it's closer to the doors.
yeah, that might not be a bad idea. The way Wendell is thinking about this, he's got 3 sets of gear. So he has 3 locations he can put stuff.
I see. That way you've got a backup to the backup, and a backup to the backup to the backup.
Basically, yes. So like he could try to hide a set of short sword and dagger somewhere over here. Another set, which is his silvered set, somewhere like over in this area. And then maybe his bow and arrows down in this area.
Would silvered items be caught under a detect magic spell?
No, they're not
okay.
magical in nature.
Gotcha. I just want to make sure that it wouldn't be like if somebody were like scoping out to make sure there wasn't a booby trap, they would catch the weapons. Gotcha.
Right.
I figured
catch.
not. All right. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Then that way you've got kind of the main routes you're likely to be taken covered. I'm gonna bet more likely we're going to head to the north to the altar. They'll probably clear it off and the sacrifices will be done over there. But we've got the other 2 just in case. I'd say this plan sounds good to me, as good as any we're going to get in the next day or so.
It
Limited
does.
time.
Definitely sounds like it should work. So I guess the next thing will be for you to take me and Semi over to there. Well, all 3 of us actually. Over to there, and then maybe you go in, to make introductions, kind of a thing. Explain to them what you're doing, and then maybe they'll be able to give you instructions on like, well, bring them in, or just have them meet us over at the temple at this time, or what have you.
All they had said before was to drop off the three sacrifices at this temple in 2 days' time.
Okay.
I could go ask for more, but I feel as though that should be enough information. I just need to bring you guys here at the expected time.
Okay.
I imagine they'd feel comfortable enough if the people to be sacrificed aren't shackled. They could shackle them up easily.
Yeah. I was just thinking more along the lines of letting them in on the fact that you're duping these three people into thinking that there's like an initiation to join. Because then they could treat us completely differently.
Oh, I see. They might be a little bit more warming and welcoming to you then.
Right.
And try and goad you into the altar before they attack.
Bingo.
I could go back and see if I could find them. I don't recall if there were any bigger names at the. None of the people seem to be of much importance at the hideout, but I could still go there and let them know, and perhaps they could tell the words to whoever's running this operation. I could probably do that. I could head back to the hideout.
Cool.
Okay. Head back across the city. Starting to get late in the day. Way back to hideout that you interacted with.
All right, so I'll knock on it. If he opens up, I'll give the password.
Okay. They let you in.
Do I see some of the familiar faces at the table?
Yeah, there's one new face there, but you also see your face from the.
All right. 1 second. All right, so I guess I'll head up to the table and sit down and focus on the guy who I met before last time.
Okay.
Just kind of sit down and look at him. So, I believe I found a few people that are kind of willing to take part in the ritual in the coming day. I figured I'd let you in on what I've pulled.
Bling.
Yeah, yes. So, I found some people excited for the ritual. I posed it under they would be joining us for the ritual. They would be joining the association, the guild. They think they're going to some sort of initiation at the temple. And I figured then we could easily bind them up once we're there and sacrifice them as needed.
What exactly did? What are they thinking they're going to be?
I just told them it was some sort of thieves guild. I didn't go too crazy. I didn't mention the name itself or even the ritual. I just said they were doing an initiation for a new upcoming thieves guild. They all seem like relatively apt thieves on the street, so they seem to have bought it pretty well.
Suppose so, man. Works. Work. Whatever. Get. Bit unorthodox.
Well, as I mentioned before, I'm not very akin to violence. I'd rather find a way to peacefully get them there, even if they are going to be killed in the end anyway. If I can make them walk in the door peacefully, I feel like I will have fulfilled my part of the job. At that point, I'm sure there'll be plenty of people to keep them restrained once they're aware of what's happening to them. I figured a little lie just makes the job a bit easier, you know?
Must realize too, with such light.
Well, isn't there always a risk to work like this?
Yes, but let on that something is happening. If they go tell other people.
I wouldn't worry about that too much. I've told them all to be rather secret about the event until after they've joined. If they were to bring anybody else with them, then... Well, then I guess I would have to figure out what to do then about making sure we only got the 3 that we needed.
Undertake the sacrifice.
Well, then I presume they'll die to the sacrifice.
Well, right, but are you going to find a way to tie them up? Are they going to expect to be?
I figured there'd be enough people there that if after maybe the first one's tied up, the other 2 might not be as willing, but if they're mobbed by a crowd, they're not going to be able to resist.
Well, and a side note, I mean, it is an initiation, so weird things happen at initiations.
For all they know, they might have to be bound and have their eyes covered and then drink some certain water or something like that, or some wine. They're not sure what to fully expect at the initiation yet. I'm sure I could just tell them something along the lines of, we have to cover your eyes and bound your hands and throw some water, some certain water onto them to rebirth them into the guild.
I don't even know. You know, you've got this under control. Let's see. I've got enough other things. You do what you do. Works great. But
I'll give a chuckle and I'll walk out.
no, I'm not joking about it.
Yeah, I'm sure you're not. I'll leave. So I'll leave. I'll walk a little ways away, and then I'll meet up with the gang.
Okay.
I'll let them know that I told them, but they don't fully believe that there's gonna be 3 willing sacrifices not coming in tied up or unconscious.
Also, we just basically gotta lay on the stupid really thick. Can do.
If you do that and you just said yes to everything that they wanted, I'm sure they'd be pretty willing at that point. They'd accept it.
Yeah.
So, if your plan laid for, whom did you?
Probably head back to the guild to retire for the night. I imagine it's getting late.
Yeah, I would say that's a fairly logical thing to do is to wait for the uh, time of the ritual. And I apologize, guys, but I'm not feeling well still. Um, I'm either going to need a few minutes or I may have to just call it early for this evening.
Well, this would be
But
a good point to pause it for a little bit of preparation. I'd like said way.
okay.
Plus, I'm
Yeah,
also
gotcha. I was about to say I'm also pretty beat, so I'm cool with calling it here and picking this up next week.